Hey, Shalom Akim. First, foremost, give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bashmi Shai, Bashmarcha Kodash, double honors under the Elders Apostle Grand Millstone, the Elders Grand Millstone, and of course, peace and blessings under the hopeful elect, the sincere servants of Yahweh, Bashmi Shai, serving with truth and sincerity. Yes, from the brother Chayabo from GMS Plankteros Camp, come back with another lesson to Spirit. Yes, this lesson be based off of this article from NBCnews.com, which is entitled, it says, Trump calls Russia's missile test inappropriate, but is Putin's nuclear-powered weapon actually a threat? And we understand there's a lot of things happening where we have Nero in office. We have Nero in office, Nero in reincarnation. And of course, we have Nero against the Medes, as the scriptures speak about. The scriptures go into the Medes, which, of course, we know it links up onto the Russians, the Medes, Gog and Magog, referring onto the Russians. And the scriptures go into how there's going to be a war between Babylon the Great and and the Medes, Russia. And ultimately, we understand how all these other nations will team up against America. According to the scriptures, Babylon the Great, we know, of course, to be America. So I read this article. It says, Russia says it has successfully tested an experimental weapon that sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie. A nuclear-powered cruise missile with unlimited range, whose low-flying, terrain-hugging, and loitering capabilities could evade American missile defenses and drop atomic bombs anywhere on Earth. It says Russian President Vladimir Putin said Sunday that the Burevestnik, meaning Storm Petrel, type of seabird, was indeed a unique weapon that no other country possesses. It says the development has drawn concern internationally, with President Nero saying Monday it was inappropriate to be conducting such tests when Russia should be focusing on peace talks with Ukraine. So there you have it. And, of course, you got Nero talking about, basically, again, we are in those times where the war is about to pop off. And, we understand how we're in the beginning of World War III. Technically, we are in the beginning of World War III. But, ultimately, we're waiting for that climax, which that climax is right around the corner. The scriptures go into how there's going to be a third woe. Trump is saying, there won't be a World War III basically saying, he's basically saying that there won't be a World War III unless he says it. Which, this devil doesn't have any say-so whether there's going to be a World War III or not. What the Lord himself has said it. What the Lord has said that there's going to be World War III. Scriptures say how the Lord declares the end from the beginning. And we can go into the scriptures about how there's going to be that war. So no matter what, it doesn't matter who's in office. It doesn't matter who's running America. Ultimately, you can't stop his fate, which is nuclear destruction, according to the scriptures. Let's go ahead and get Jeremiah chapter 50 and 9. It says, for lo, I'll raise. So it says, for lo, I will raise. So I, meaning referring unto the Lord. It says, for lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon, an assembly of great nations from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she should be taken. The arrow should be as of a mighty experiment. None shall return in vain. And we know, again, Babylon, this isn't referring unto ancient Babylon. Because, when you go into Babylon within this chapter, ultimately what we know is it's not referring onto ancient Babylon. Because ancient Babylon's modern day location is in Iraq, modern day Iraq, or, it's located within Iraq. And when you look at the land, you don't see the judgment spoken about that's going to happen to Babylon. The future Babylon, as Jeremiah chapter 50 goes into, and many other scriptures within the Old Testament. But we know that is referring on to the future Babylon, which is America, because again, these things haven't happened to of course, ancient Babylon, concerning the scriptures that go into the future Babylon. So it says, "For lo, I'll raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country." Yeah, that assembly of great nations from the north country is the Russian Federation. That's the assembly. And the north country, of course, is Russia. Again, we know that's obviously, when you think about the north country, that's going to come up against Babylon. With the most northern country, literally, is Russia, and on the other side of the world. And again, Russia is the biggest nation, and again, it only makes sense. It says an assembly of great nation from the north country, yeah, and of course, you also have the Russian Federation, which will aid Russia to destroy America. It says, "And they shall set themselves in array against her." Yeah, they're going to surround America. It says, "From thence she should be taken. Their arrows should be as of a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain." Exactly. Because the arrows, again, arrows symbolic unto the nuclear missiles. The modern day arrow is the missile. Obviously, you can't shoot a traditional bow and arrow thousands of miles away on the other side of the planet. No. Obviously, this is referring onto a symbolic. This is symbolic and figurative onto the nuclear missiles. It says that their arrows should be as of a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain. Yeah, mighty expert man, because we understand how these missiles have an advanced targeting system. And anyways, the Spirit of the Lord will be within these missiles to go wherever he wants them to go to. Doesn't matter if whoever's controlling these missiles, they want it to go here. If the Lord wants to go somewhere else, guess what? It's going to go wherever the Lord wants it to go to. Expert man, when you get it in the Hebrew, the original word is mashakayal. Basically going into, meaning to be prudent, be circumspect. Yeah, so basically, is gonna, again, be very advanced. These arrows are very advanced. These missiles are very advanced. It says none shall return in vain, exactly, because once they're shot, they're going straight for the target. Going Mach speeds towards, again, the destination, which is Babylon the Great, aka America. This is verse 10. "And Chaldea should be a spoil, all that spoil her should be satisfied, saith the Lord Yahweh." Exactly. So all Chaldea should be a spoil, all that spoil her should be satisfied. Chaldea, again, going into the same place. Because again, the scriptures speak about going through twos and threes, referring on to the same place many times. And which in this instance is referring on to the same place. So, hey, this is Babylon's fate, Babylon the Great's fate. Trump can't stay at Babylon. We can get the next chapter. It says, Jeremiah chapter 51:7, "Babylon hath been a golden cup in the Lord Yahweh's hand that made all the earth drunken." Yeah, because the Lord used America to completely pollute the whole world. Because again, we're in the era of wickedness. Esau's ruling. The Lord put the spirit on Esau to do. Of course, the Lord constructed Esau to be the most wicked, and what the Esau's the sons of the wicked, and what the whole world has to be given to the hands of the wicked. As scriptures say, the earth has been given to the hands of the wicked. Job chapter 9:24. So what the Lord used Esau, which Esau's main nation, Esau's headquarters is America, and the Lord, of course, used again America. It says, "Babylon hath been a golden cup in the Lord Yahweh's hand that made all the earth drunken." Yeah, with its many philosophies. It says, the nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. Yeah, so the ways of America, the ways how it runs this nation, what it does, the agendas that it pushes, the philosophies of it. America's infrastructure. You go down the list. Again, these other nations have taken of it. You might go around these other nations. Yeah, they have some of their traditions still, but again, they have drunken a lot of course, America's ways. So it says, therefore, the nations are mad. It says, verse 8, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her, take a balm for her pain, if so she may be healed. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Exactly. It says, forsake her and let us go everyone into his own country. For her judgment reaches unto heaven and is lifted up even to the skies. Yeah, there's going to be, of course, with the smoke going up from it being burned up and destroyed. Babylon suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for it? Take upon for her pain, if so she may be healed, meaning it won't be healed. So the prophecy is that it will fall. So yes, Russia will be successful in what getting, the sufficient amount of missiles that it needs. Of course, the basically gathering basically what getting the most advanced missiles that it needs in order to, again, to fulfill that prophecy, which is to destroy this place, to destroy Babylon. And as well as these other nations, we see China, we see Iran. Well, they're going to form an alliance, we already see the alliance has formed. And of course, as well as these other nations, any nation, again, we were seeing all these nations departing from, the alliance from being allies with America. But they're going to team up again with Russia, China, again, and again with that alliance to destroy it. So it's going to be all nations against America, and what they're going to destroy Israel too. Of course, what the scriptures go into how Israel is going to be burned up. Because again, we understand how the Lord's doing this. Because this is the land of our captivity, us Israelites, so-called blacks, Native Americans, Latinos, and also our people have been scattered. So the Lord's going to destroy this place, the main place of our captivity. We've been here captives, taken as slaves, and we're still here captives onto this day. Now we're slaves under the system. Slaves under contracts, slaves under the elites. And ultimately they want to push their agenda, their ultimate agenda, which is to push out the MOTB, the mark of the beast, to mandate it, which is the implant, the CHIP. That's what they want to mandate, and what they want to get everybody chipped, starting with the Israelites, our people, because they know that we're the people of the Most High. So the Lord's coming back, the Lord's going to put His Spirit upon these other nations to completely desolate this place, desolate this land. And Yahushua is coming back to deliver His elect that's located within this land. Because if the Lord didn't come back to deliver the elect, then the elect will perish in that fire. So the Lord's coming back to give salvation unto His elect, Yahushai. Then the Heavenly Father Yahweh will send back His Son Yahushai. That's what the Heavenly Father's name being Yahweh according to the ancient Paleo Hebrew, and the Son's name being Yahushai according to the ancient Paleo Hebrew. Of course, so the Heavenly Father will send back His Son Yahushai to deliver His elect, to of course give salvation unto His elect, the elect Israelites, the 1/3 of the nation of Israel within America. So that's what's promised. So ultimately, we know that that's the end game. This place, Babylon Great, America being destroyed. And Yahushua coming back to deliver His elect. And with that, after the elect are delivered, of course, we're going to be given those new bodies. We're going to be translated as we're going up into those chariots, so-called UFOs. As, the world calls it, UFOs, UAPs, whatever. Those are the chariots of the Lord. So the Lord's going to use the chariots to deliver His elect. And we're going to be changed as we're going up into those chariots. And well, of course, we're going to have rulership over the whole world. That's going to start with the elect of the nation of Israel. Isaiah chapter 14, Revelation chapter 2, 27 on down. Revelation chapter 13 and 10. So on and so forth. Well, the scriptures prophesy how, again, the Israelites will be given rulership over all the nations. Well, that's one of the blessings that's been given unto Jacob. But basically all the nations will be subject under him. So that's going to be fulfilled within a kingdom eternally. Jacob has been given the eternal blessing. Israel has been given the eternal blessing, and Esau has been given the temporal blessing, which is what to have rulership over the earth for a certain amount of time, for only a temporary amount of time. And well, we're at the end of Esau's world. Let's go ahead and end it off right there. This is 2 Ezra chapter 6 and 9. It says, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Yeah, so we're at the end of Esau's world. And again, all these other nations, again, the Lord's just killing two birds with one stone, using these other nations to turn against Babylon. But no, Russia's not next in power. China's not next in power. Once this place is destroyed, the Israelites will be next in power. That's a promise, and that's biblical. That's within the scriptures. This is what Yahweh Bashim Yahushai has promised for, of course, his elect. Or what the Lord has promised. And again, with the elect will understand that. And what these other nations are, we're pushing out this word, and this word is going out amongst the whole world for a witness unto all nations. So hey, the Lord's word is already out there. Yes, as in Jacob is the beginning of it the father. So once Esau's world is ended, which again will be the desolation of America, Babylon the Great, Yahushua coming back, putting these other nations in subjection, setting up his people over all the nations. That right there is the beginning of Jacob's world, which is the kingdom of heaven. So yeah, I believe that's the point. Those are your brothers that edified. Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Kakodash Brakatham. Shalom.